As you all know, there will be no Will Fuller for this game this week versus the Pats. So we will find out. Jakeem Grant is listed as the starter right now. And I got to tell you something. You know, as you all know, if you listen enough and you watch, I'm a Jakeem Grant supporter, right? But I also acknowledge his shortcomings, no pun intended, on as a receiver. I get all of that he has struggled as a receiver. That's why I kind of have a problem with him starting. And I get it. Albert Wilson is coming off an injury. He's injury prone. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's the guy I would rather start right now. I've told you guys this. I love Jakeem, the returner. And I told you this many times over throughout the offseason. The fact that they've loaded up at wide receiver, I love it for Jakeem because I think Jakeem should only be used as a decoy and only used a couple times as a receiver in a game. I think he wears down as the season goes on. That's been the problem the last 2 years, that they've used him so much at wide receiver along with returner that he wears down. And he's broken down too. He's actually suffered some injuries too. And I think that takes a toll on him. I'd rather keep him full-time as a returner. So it'll be interesting to see now. Depth charts mean jack shit. Let's be honest now. When they get into the game, it might be Albert Wilson dominating, which I hope he's in there. And I hope he can stay healthy too, at least this week, because you don't get Will Fuller back till next week. And you need and I think one of the things that's going to be, I think, incredibly important. And it's obviously this is like, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but one of the factors that really is a key to this offense now is speed. You added it with Jalen Waddle. You added it with Will Fuller. You have it with Jakeem Grant, and you have it with Albert Wilson. So you need to use that speed to your advantage, to Tua's advantage. He's a quick twitch quarterback. He can make fast decisions, deliver the ball quickly, accurately, precisely, ball placement, all of those things. Timing, he's got that. And it's very important to use that speed. And so when you see the depth chart with Jakeem up first, I would actually tell you, yeah, I don't know if he's really going to get as much playing time as it looks like on the depth chart. I still think that if Albert Wilson shows health this week and practices well, I would imagine Albert Wilson's the guy that's going to get a lot more playing time than Jakeem Grant, and I hope so, because I'd rather keep Jakeem fresh for special teams. And it'll be interesting, too, what happens at the end of a first half if you're trailing? What happens at the end? What happens in the fourth quarter if you're trailing? Will it be always Jakeem, or will you sprinkle in Jalen Waddle at that moment? Remember what I've talked about throughout the offseason, right? Hardeman, Tyreek Hill. Hardeman plays the Jakeem role, your full-time returner, and then Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle plays the Tyreek Hill role, that you use him as an occasional returner. That's what Kansas City does. When they need a boost, they bring in the super weapon in Tyreek Hill, and they say, Hardeman, take a seat right now. We're going to use the monster of the midway right now. Let's go with Tyreek, and then Tyreek comes in for a return. That's another thing that I want to see. Will that happen in this game? And my prediction is it will happen. And not because they're trailing or anything. It's not that. It will happen if they're in that position, I'll say. Why? Because you have a coach that wants to win. He doesn't care how he wins. He needs to put the people on the field that help him win. And obviously, Jakeem helps you win on special teams. But Jalen Waddle is a special talent. And obviously a bigger returner, too. So you got a better chance of maybe Jalen breaking an extra tackle or two that maybe Jakeem cannot. You know what I mean? Jakeem is not about breaking tackles. It's about, staying low to the ground and not getting a clean shot on him. And so balance for him is a lot easier because he's smaller and closer to the ground. You know what I mean? But that'll be interesting there in that game if they use Waddle as a secret weapon. And I believe they will. I believe it because he's kind of that's the MO that the head coach has shown me so far, that if the quarterback's not playing well and he doesn't care if it's Fitz or if it's Rosen or Tua, he's going to try somebody else. If the offensive line coach is not doing the job, he's going to replace that offensive line coach. You know what I mean? This guy does not waste any time with something that isn't working. If it's not working, you move on. You don't try to keep working at it and keep it in place, and it keeps costing you field position, a game, points, whatever it is. That's what I love about Flo, is that he will do whatever it takes to win. And he will go for it on fourth down. I love the fact that we got a coach that actually has some guts. And so that's why don't look too deep into this depth chart and seeing Jakeem start. I think things will change.